Good afternoon, folks. Christopher Brandlin, your carnivore lawyer. I'm always doing some weird things in the office. And I always try to promote doing something active in the office, especially if you're stuck to a desk all day, because we become very sedentary, we become very lazy, especially as we get older. You know, your testosterone starts to drop naturally if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't eat properly. And some people find this offensive, but a lot of people develop that little bitch syndrome. I call it LBS. IBS is already a problem, but LBS is becoming more common, especially if you're a Democrat, you probably automatically have it. Anyways, I've been showing some people how to do push-up combinations and handstands and different functions to kind of strengthen your upper body. And I do think that's pretty important because I think a lot of men today are very weak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some progression. So I've already showed a few of you that you can actually learn to progress to handstand push-ups. You can use the wall. Sometimes you can do pike push-ups. You can just kind of build up your shoulder and your chest strength, and that can, the muscular endurance can help you out. So I want to take this to a new level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to incorporate handstand push-ups with stabilizing. I think I showed more than once. They call it a signature move, but I can do a single arm handstand. I think a lot of people can do it, so I'm not the only one. I know a lot of other people can do it. Not many attorneys can do it because a lot of attorneys suffer from that LBS, especially in LA County, Blue County. They have plenty of LBS attorneys here. But also, I kind of like it in my congressional race. I don't think a lot of other congressional candidates take care of themselves. So let's try to set that up. So you always want to use a nice little stable wall, clear yourself out. I kind of like how I have my own little office over here so I can screw around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stabilize with a handstand first. Sometimes I like just jumping straight into it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it progressive. I'm going to start with a headstand, then push up into a handstand, then I'm going to stabilize on my right arm, shoulder stability, and then I'm going to stabilize with my left arm. And when I'm switching back and forth, I'm going to be kind of using my core to kind of balance my weight, but the whole thing is I'm using my shoulder stability too. There's intrinsic muscles within your rotator cuff that can really be stabilized too. So this way, if you ever kind of get in a grapple, if you ever need to lift something, you're not going to be, tearing your rotator cuff. So let's try this out. So once again, you assume all the risk. Even though I came from the health and fitness industry, I'm not a medical doctor. So if you want to try this out on your own, please consult with your drug dealing big pharma physician who doesn't know shit from anything about nutrition, and all of a sudden they learn pharmacology for a living. So let's try this out. So right here, it's pretty simple. It's just a headstand, okay? I'm not even really using my hands right here, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stabilize into a handstand, like so. And then I'm gonna stabilize, single arm. Let's try this out. That's one. Let's see if I can do the left. Oh, I usually can't do the left, so I can do the left, then again the right, then again. Let's try the left. Left is shaky, but I can still do it. Then the right. Oh, and although I can usually do, I think a couple weeks ago I did 32 handstand push-ups or something like that. When I'm stabilizing one by one, I'm really fatiguing my shoulders. So I always said when I was in college and law school, when I ran my own personal dream business, when I was in, doing competitive bodybuilding, I like the idea of muscle confusion. If you do the same crap every day, it gets boring. Your muscles can kind of get used to some of your exercises. If you want to push yourself to a new level, try some muscle confusion. Do a different exercise that your body is not used to. It shocks the muscles. So it's kind of shock therapy. And I think when I was in Muscle and Fitness magazine, I kind of promoted an article all about muscle confusion. So another activity to do in the office. So eat meat, train hard, and let's make America great and healthy again.